All right. Well, welcome everyone to our webinar today, which is on emotional intelligence in communication and social interaction, both in the workplace and in life in general. And I want to invite you to chime in the chat, ask your questions, share your thoughts and insights with each other, connect with people from the Academy, and, introduce yourself to each other, say hi, share your thoughts, and we're going to get started with our webinar. So like I said, this is about emotional intelligence, EI for short, in communication, which is very important. And we're going to talk about why it is so important. I'm going to share my screen with you. Feel free to silence your devices now so that you have your undivided full attention here for this time that we're together in this webinar. And I'm so excited that you set aside some time to do this together and, to show up and to, commit to your learning and to, enhancing your skills. So, hi, everybody. I'm Mary Daphne, and I am CEO and co-founder of explearning and Advanced English, and I am head of community here in explearning Academy, which is at academy.explearning.co. And I'm here to empower you with communication skills, with confidence boosting techniques and strategies to help you reach social fluency, both at work and in life, because we need both. And it boils down to effective communication. So that's what we do here. In terms of my background, I've got 2 masters and my undergrad. My BA was in French and communication. I was a double major. And I graduated from Hamilton College, magna cum laude. And then a Master of Arts from Boston University. I graduated valedictorian, and then a Master's of Education and an Advanced Master's from Columbia University, graduating with honors. So that's a little bit about my educational background. And in terms of experience, at this point, it's nearly 2 decades in cross-cultural corporate communications, television, live broadcasting, as well as education, right? So teaching and designing courses in communication, social skills, public speaking, English, French, cross-cultural and business communications for, like I said, nearly 2 decades. So all this experience I bring into the Academy, into my courses, into the webinars, into the challenges. So you get all this experience. And I like to emphasize technology, empirical research, data-backed teaching methodologies for high-value student outcomes so that you get the best of the best of the best. I also teach teachers how to teach. So I'm a teacher trainer. I've done this both abroad and in New York at places like Columbia, Baruch, and Hunter College. Also, I was a Fulbright grant recipient. So I went out first as, I've been abroad many times. I speak many languages. I have various cultures that I'm part of. And, being born and raised in New York, I was able to kind of feel that around me. People speaking different languages, and you're exposed to so many different cultures. It's such a cosmopolitan city. So growing up, I was always exposed to that, not to mention hearing different languages growing up as well and speaking different languages besides English. So what's really unique, I find unique about my experience with the Fulbright Award is when I, got that award, that was my first time doing cross-cultural communications in a professional capacity. And since then, I've always added an element of that because it is so important to be able to understand people from all over the world, to connect with them, to relate to them, to communicate with them, to find rapport. So cross-cultural communication is very near and dear to my heart. And we do a lot of that here in the Academy as well. All right, so let's talk about emotional intelligence. Zuri says, what an interesting topic. I agree. It really is such an interesting topic. And you might have heard of EI before, emotional intelligence quotient, short for EI, right? Emotional intelligence. But maybe you don't really know that much about it, right? So what is it? It's the ability to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions as well as those of others. Okay, so it's not just knowing what other people, understanding what other people feel, it's also knowing how to identify those emotions within you, which is sometimes even harder, right? So we talk a lot about, building emotional resonance and understanding the feelings that we experience throughout the day, right? Of which there are many. It's not just like, oh, we wake up in the morning with one emotion and that's the whole emotion for the day. That's not how it works. We're human. So we've got lots of different emotions that we experience throughout the day, as you can attest to. Okay. So it's a crucial part of effective communication because it allows us to navigate social interactions with empathy, self-awareness, and emotional regulation. Okay. So I want you to remember those: empathy, self-awareness, and emotional regulation, being able to regulate our emotions. If somebody says something, they push your buttons and you get really upset, are you going to shout at them? How are you going to react? Are you going to react, or are you going to respond? Or are you going to regulate your emotions and take a breather and respond accordingly, as opposed to react in a, aggressive way? So what are the key components? Well, we've got self-awareness, we've got self-regulation, we've got social awareness, right? Being aware of what's going on around us, kind of like reading the room, which we talk about. Relationship management, right? How are we relating to others, and how can we manage their feelings, their emotions, as well as the content that we're talking about, right? Whatever your topic of conversation is, what brought you to that discussion in the first place, and so on and so forth. So do you see how many important components we have within emotional intelligence? There are a lot, right? And they're all very important. It's also really important in workplace interactions. Think about it. You need to rely heavily on your EI when you're conversing with colleagues, when you're interfacing with clients, when you're trying to land clients, when you're, talking to C-suite management, when you are doing all sorts of things, right? This type of interaction is always going to be, if you have EI, if you imbue your interactions with emotional intelligence, your relationships will be stronger at work, your networking will be better, you'll know more people because they're going to want to talk to you. They notice that you're a good communicator, right? If you imbue your social interaction with emotional intelligence, you'll be a better team member or a leader. So these are very, important things that cannot be overlooked, because when people say, I want to do well at work, I want to excel at work, a lot of it comes down to communication. Communication is the key to so many aspects of our life, which is why I'm so passionate about communication. It's why I majored in communication. It's why part of my life's work is towards building a community that enhances people's human interaction, connectivity within, within various groups and within each other. So important. So the fact that you're here also shows that you value it as well. It helps us build strong, positive relationships at work, right? Rapport building, trust building, being able to create that trust, foster a collaborative and supportive work environment. None of this like toxic work culture, nothing like that. Not when you have emotional intelligence at the heart of your interactions, right? Not just you having that, but your colleagues around you. And look, you might be the inspiration for that. You might, after this webinar, go into work tomorrow or later today and, use some of the strategies that I'm sharing with you, and people will pick up on that, and something within them might change, might switch on and say, wow, maybe I should be more empathetic and have that self-regulation and empathy and, the ability to cue into those emotions, right? And act accordingly. So what is the role of emotional intelligence in communication, in social interaction? Do you have any thoughts? I love seeing everybody in the chat here. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, maybe for some of you. So what do you think the role is? This is a hefty question, I know. But if you think of anything, put it in the chat. Intelligence in communication. What are your thoughts? I'll let that sit with you. So, connection, I love it. Yes, Mireya, connection, absolutely. Absolutely. We're able to connect with each other. We're able to recognize and understand and manage the emotions that we have within us, but also within others. Read people, understand people. Have you ever heard of the kind of the saying that, oh, that person reads others so well? They can just reading others, reading the room, being a people's person. A lot of it has to do with high emotional intelligence. Simon goes sympathy with others. Absolutely, right? Being able to, feel kindness towards them and understand and be empathetic and, help others be understood. If for some reason they're not, effectively communicating, maybe you're able to read between the lines, right? So if somebody has high EI, they're much better equipped to navigate the various communication scenarios that we encounter every day, day to day. And also they're able to build stronger relationships with people. They'll have better networks, they'll be able to call people up. They'll be able to, interact with whomever. They'll be able to, they're the people who can strike up conversations with people and in an authentic and sincere, genuine way, right? You just know. So how does it enhance active listening? Well, because you are fully present and you are fully engaged in conversation, right? So you're not just listening to the words that are being spoken, but also what's not being said, right? Communication is not just what you say, it's how you say it. And the how you say it part, you really have to listen for more than just the words. It's all of the paralinguistics, the nonverbal communication, the tone of voice, what emphasis people are placing on words, what their facial expressions are doing, if there are any micro expressions they notice, all of these things, so many things that is conveyed through the nonverbal, right? And so when you actively listen and you respond in an empathetic way that shows sympathy, that shows connection, you are exhibiting high emotional intelligence, and that can foster much better understanding, much better connection and trust and rapport building with others. You are going to be more likable, more charismatic, seen as more competent, right? Seen as smarter, seen as more intelligent, seen as more on top of things, professional, credible. So there's a lot to be gained from this. Yeah, that's interesting. So Zuri is saying, I just heard about a study that shows that people who have better relationships and network at 45 are happier and healthier at 65. Absolutely. It comes down to being able to communicate, to interact socially, to have that social interaction, to be social, to have a community of people that you can talk to. And absolutely, this is very important for the longevity, for our health span, right? Living well for longer. And I love that you brought that up, Zuri. Emotional intelligence is definitely at the heart of it. And yes, building strong relationships, 100%. Thanks for sharing that. And then we have empathy, right? So that, this month, our theme for February in our academy is empathy in action, right? Empathetic communication. And as you see, emotional intelligence fits really nicely into that theme. I'll be announcing March's theme this Friday in the academy. So be on the lookout for that. I'm excited. A lot of people have already RSVP'd, which is great. So I'll be announcing next month's theme on Friday. But this month we talked about, and our challenge that we had was focused on empathy in action, part of which is the active listening component. So Empathy is very important. It cannot be overlooked. It is a beacon of emotional intelligence, right? It's what is empathy? It's you are able to understand and share the feelings of others. It's that putting oneself in another person's shoes, right? You've heard that before. So when you can empathize with others, you are seen as more trustworthy. People want to trust you. They want to relay information to you. They want to confide in you. You create a safe space for open dialogue and transparent communication. And it shows that you genuinely care about somebody and you understand them. And guess what? When you do that for somebody, they are much more inclined to do that for you, to behave like that towards you. So it's a win-win all around. A win-win all around. This is also important in conflict resolution, right? We talk about, navigating conflict and what do we do to kind of lower the risk of conflict. Well, communication is at the heart of that, right? That is how we can, make sure that we are navigating conflict properly, but also finding ways to diminish the, diminish conflict when it does, arise. Because it's not that you can always remove conflict from the equation. It happens. So how do you effectively mitigate conflict? But then also, are there ways of kind of reducing the risk of conflict? And absolutely, with emotional intelligence, you're able to do that, because you can kind of sense when they're on their last straw, right? And you can sense that if you read the room and you tap into the emotional intelligence quotient, and also seeing, what that response is from them. So you can also avoid conflict in a lot of scenarios. Trying to find common ground, right? We talk about this a lot. We can always find common ground with people. Always, always, always. I'm a firm believer in this. I've traveled and lived all over the world, and I have seen this. I have done this, and you can do it too. Facilitating compromise. So if you do reach a point where there is some friction, maybe there is some conflict, can you compromise? Can you find a way that is going to make everybody, happy? What can you do to satisfy all parties? That's negotiation. We talk about negotiation too. How can you find mutually beneficial solutions and resolutions? So, all right. So a lot to think about, right? This is a hefty topic. It's so important. I mean, we could spend several weeks on this alone. So, this is something that I want you to really consider incorporating in your own, the way you interact with people, both at work and in life, right? Like I said, just right after this webinar, try to implement some of the strategies that I'm sharing with you. Try to approach your interactions with this EI perspective. So now I'd like to show you an example of using emotional intelligence in workplace communication. Okay. So this is the kind of the scenario here. So during a quarterly review meeting, Selena, who is a team leader, presents the team's performance report, okay, which happens every quarter. And the report highlights areas of success, but it also points out several critical areas that need improvement. You can think of it as the weakness areas. So one team member, Tom, feels that his efforts are being specifically criticized, and he immediately becomes defensive, expressing his frustration openly in the meeting. So he's visibly upset. He takes this criticism to heart. He's not able to see past it as constructive criticism. So how does Selena, as the team leader, as an effective communicator who has mastered emotional intelligence, how does she talk to Tom? How does she deal with this scenario, this issue? Okay, well, first off, she recognizes emotions. Okay, so she immediately sees and recognizes Tom's defensive posture, okay, and his tone. He immediately puts on a defensive tone as these signs of him maybe feeling like he was being attacked, or maybe he feels that he's being undervalued, regardless of how Selena has approached the situation. This is not really to do with Selena. This is how he's taking it. Okay. And he is taking this information as criticism towards him as an individual. And so he is getting defensive. Completely understandable, right? Completely understandable for somebody who does not have high emotional intelligence. And Tom, unfortunately, is exhibiting that. But let's see, as somebody who has high emotional intelligence, Selena, what does she do? So she understands that this response is emotional, right? Rather than personal. Maybe, yes, he's taking the criticism personally, but this is an emotional response to that. And it's not personal towards her, right? This is nothing to do with Selena. So she's not taking this criticism personally of how Tom took the criticism, right? Tom's taking it personally and he's getting defensive, and his response is emotional. And Selena recognizes this. And Mireya goes, validation of his feelings. Well, absolutely. This is the step right before that. But yes, you are getting very close to what's so important here. Validation is key. I'm so glad you brought that up, Mireya. That's excellent. So now we have the self-regulation. So instead of, heating up and responding defensively, so getting defensive like Tom, Selena is calm. She's calm. She's composed. She knows how important it is to manage her reactions, right? So she has that self-regulation. She's able to regulate how she's feeling, overcome that feeling of, oh, let me react right now. Let me get defensive too. And let me say something and give him a piece of my mind, that Tom. No, she's not doing that. She knows she's in charge. She's in control of her emotions. She's not letting her emotions control her. No way. Because this is how she's going to maintain a constructive atmosphere, right? And set an example for Tom too. She's not going to escalate the situation. And this is the height of, this is professionalism, right? At work too. Then she's got empathy. Okay. So she empathizes with Tom's situation. She realizes that Tom might feel that his hard work has maybe gone unrecognized, right? If you're getting constructive criticism or criticism, you're not able to see the constructive aspect of it, and you get defensive about it, that means maybe you don't feel like you're being valued and you feel like your hard work that you've done is going unrecognized. So that's demotivating, right? You don't want to hear that. You want to be, you want to hear people giving you some accolades and say, wow, well done, Tom. Good job. Well done. You're a team player. You're excellent. We're so happy to have you. Maybe there was some of that, but that's not what Tom is picking up on, right? So what does she do? She puts herself in Tom's shoes and she acknowledges his need for validation. So Mireya mentioned validation, right? Exactly. So she sees, because she's tapping into the emotional intelligence, she knows that the empathy, that she needs to show empathy. She sees that he needs validation. Validation. All right. And because she's such an effective communicator, she addresses Tom's concerns directly, but also gently. Okay. She says, Tom, I see you're upset, and I want to acknowledge the hard work you've been putting into this project. The areas for improvement that we're discussing are not solely reflective of your efforts, but are areas we as a team can grow in together, right? So she's not putting it all on Tom. She shows that she wants to validate his hard work. She's showing that she's validating it, right? You've done a great job. You've been, you put a lot of hard work and effort into this project. But what we're discussing here is not just about, you, it's about how we as a team can grow, right? This is a reflection, not just on you, not just of you, but of everybody who was involved in this. Because after all, at the end of the day, we are a team. Do you see how wonderful this is? Selena validated. She disabused him of this notion that he is at fault. There's something wrong with him. There's not something wrong with him. She is showing him that we're approaching this in a collaborative fashion. And she has social fluency, Miss Selena, right? Her social skills are on point. She uses them to navigate this tense, heated situation diplomatically. Okay. So what does she do? She suggests a one-on-one with Tom. Okay. They're going to meet one-on-one to go over his contributions and discuss any concerns that he might have in detail. So what does this do? It not only diffuses the tension, but it also shows Tom that his contributions are indeed valued and that his feelings are respected. This is huge. This is exactly what we're going for, right? And you don't even have to be the leader to implement these, right? You can be the teammate. Maybe Tom comes to you as the teammate and expresses his concerns and shares this information with you in private about his report, right? This is how you can react to Tom as well, right? This is how you can help him and help validate his concerns. We've also got problem solving, right? And conflict resolution. So now in this one-on-one meeting that they're having, Selena and Tom are able to discuss the feedback constructively, right? So Selena listens to Tom's perspective, acknowledges and validates his feelings, and then together in this collaborative way, they come up with a plan for addressing what needs to be improved. So what does this do? Well, it not only resolves the immediate conflict, but it also strengthens the relationship that they have as coworkers moving forward. So now Tom feels, more comfortable the next time he gets feedback or criticism or constructive criticism from his team leader, right? From Selena. And going forward, he knows that Selena is such a good communicator with such high EI, emotional intelligence, that he can come to her when maybe he has an issue or maybe there's a conflict with some other, another type of workplace conflict, right? She has demonstrated high EI. So what's the outcome here? Well, as you can see, because Selena was able to use emotional intelligence, she turned a potentially negative situation that could have gone in a very different direction, right? It could have led to, it could have escalated into a full-blown conflict and lots of a big, big headache for everyone. She turned this potentially negative situation into a positive one. Why is it positive? They were able to talk things through. Tom felt heard. He felt valued. He felt appreciated. He felt validated by Selena. And also the team together learned an important lesson on constructive feedback, right? And conflict resolution. Selena demonstrated herself as a very competent leader with executive excellence and with high EI, right? And high social fluency. And her approach reinforced a culture of open communication, mutual respect, and continuous improvement within the team. These are all incredible things that we want to exude as leaders ourselves, right? As a modern executive, you want to be able to have positive communication outcomes such as these that Selena exhibited so well for us here. Okay. So that is how Miss Selena used emotional intelligence. Now, strategies for leveraging emotional intelligence. So here are some of the things that you yourself can look at, can implement, can think about, adding to your own social fluency toolkit. and practice. So we've got active listening. We just did a whole challenge on active listening. Some people have completed it, which is amazing. And they've got their badges and certificates. And we also have people who are doing it right now. It is up there for you. It will not go away for as long as you are an Explearning Academy member in our Explearning Academy plan or in our Executive Communication Lab group coaching plan. You will have access to this active listening challenge. And members have told me that they're going to revisit it because it was that, game changing for them. So that's another wonderful thing that you can do. You can go back to specific modules within the challenge and refresh your memory, refresh your skills. So with active listening, you're giving your full undivided attention to the speaker or speakers, right? Depending on how many interlocutors there are. You're maintaining eye contact. You're not distracted. You're not looking on your phone. You're not scrolling, through your messages or your phone. You're not somewhere else off in the distance, but you're actually paying attention to them. And you're reflecting on what the speaker is saying. You're providing verbal and nonverbal cues to show that you're listening and that you're engaged and that you're actively, aware and listening. These are really important, right? Because it immediately shows that you have emotional intelligence. You're aware of what's going on. And just because someone is super smart, has a lot of professional achievements to their name, doesn't make them a good listener. In fact, you have to really put this into perspective because sometimes people who, find that they're good communicators are actually missing that critical listening component and easily set themselves apart from those who are truly effective communicators who are laser focused on what someone is telling them. Right? We immediately know when someone's paying attention to us. So being smart is table stakes. It's not enough to be smart. It's separate from an effective communicator. So yeah, Medea goes absolutely 100%. Yes, for sure. Then we've got nonverbal communication. So think about, what are you doing with your body language, with your tone of voice, with your expressions, with your, the emphasis, your pausing, your pacing, all of these things. So you've got to be aware of how you are conveying a message, right? Not just what you're saying, but how you are saying it, so that making sure that your nonverbal expression is aligned with your verbal expression. Nonverbal and verbal aligned. They are in synchrony. Otherwise, you're going to be sending out mixed messages, mixed signals, which can set the the field for essentially miscommunications, right? Which we don't want. Empathy. So try to put yourself in the other person's shoes, just like Selena did. Try to understand why are they reacting this way? What is it about this situation that warrants that kind of reaction? Do you know something about their personal life that maybe is imbuing that or setting the tone for that response? Do you know that this specific instance warrants that kind of reaction? Can you read into it a little bit more? Right? Selena picked up on Tom's feeling here because she sensed that he was getting defensive and he felt undermined and undervalued. So she was able to put herself in his shoes. You can show empathy through active listening, through validation, and responding with understanding. Again, validation, we did a whole webinar on validation. This is one of the honestly magic strategies that we have at our disposal in communication. I really recommend you revisit that, watch that, because it's so important. And that is directly aligned with active listening, empathy, emotional intelligence. Again, everything that we're talking about this month is empathy in action. So we've got that too, right? managing emotions in difficult conversations. Difficult conversations are going to happen. You can't avoid them. You can't run away from them. You can't, try to people please your way around them. So we've got to know how to deal with this. Okay. First of all, you want to recognize what's happening inside, right? What's your intrapersonal communication? Communication is not just interpersonal, which is communicating with others, one or more people, but it's also the dialogue we have with ourselves, which is all day, every day, our inner voice, right? So what are your emotions telling you? What are your feelings telling you? And how can you prevent them from negatively impacting the conversation? How do you control your emotions so that they don't control you, and so that you don't blurt out something in haste, right? And that you instantly regret right after saying? You don't want to blurt something out like that. You want to think before you speak. You want to have that emotional self-regulation. Staying calm, staying composed, finding your inner zen, your inner peace. If that means you take a timeout, you say, I'm just going to go get some water. I'll be right back, right? In your calmest voice ever. And if you have to shout into a pillow, maybe do that. I've never really, that's not something that I personally do, but I know that it works for people. But I definitely love taking a little time out, right? Just change the scenery. Go get a warm beverage, get some water, get a piece of chocolate even, I don't know, something, maybe do some jumping jacks, release that tension, and then go back when you're in that correct mind space. If you can immediately switch into it like Selena did, right? That's a pro move. And we do it when we're better, we get better and better and better at self-regulation. Then you're able to focus on the issue at hand. You're not focusing on the person necessarily, right? You're separating the problem from the person, the problematic behavior and the person, right? Tom is a perfectly capable, kind individual, but that behavior he exhibited in that moment was problematic. However, because we have emotional intelligence, we look past that. We say, okay, I'm putting myself in Tom's shoes. I'm not taking this response personally. This has nothing to do with me. I didn't do anything wrong here. This is not about me. But let's figure out what this is about. Let's try, so you're not getting caught up in the petty personal emotions. This is not about you. Okay. This is about how Tom is feeling. Wow, wow, wow. So much amazing stuff here to unpack, right? So I've just given you a lot to think about. I recognize that. I want you to watch this webinar again. You'll have the PDF download in the community, so you can download it. Go through it. Let's now talk about the benefits of effective communication. So now we're going a little bit high level here. And we're talking about why is it so important to have effective communication? Well, we have improved relationships, right? As you see in the example with Tom and Selena, their work relationship is strengthened. Okay. We can have stronger relationships with colleagues, with managers, with clients, with friends, with family, with anybody that we invest time and energy in. It promotes trust, understanding, collaboration. We're in this together, right? It's that mentality. It's not blamey. It's not toxic. It's we are here in this together. We are going to collaborate. We're going to find a solution. We're going to help each other reach the communication outcomes that we want. It increases productivity, which is something we all want, right? So clear and concise communication can reduce misunderstanding and also minimize errors. So fewer misunderstandings, fewer errors, better productivity, better efficiency, better outcomes, all great things. It also streamlines workflows and enhances efficiency. So systems are put in place. We've got open, transparent communication, which leads to this enhanced efficiency. Your well-being is much better, right? Think about it. When you go to work, you're not dreading the interactions you have. You don't have these like palpitations or sweaty palms or hyperventilating moments or anxiety. You're calm. You're looking forward to it. You're looking forward to maybe even the challenges that you might have when you can talk things through. Right? There's no script. So you go in and you don't know what kinds of interactions, what kinds of conversations you're going to have. It's kind of fun. You don't know it, right? It's not, but you know that you can, with your effective communication skills, with your emotional intelligence, you can tap into the strategies that I share with you, with the, practice that we do in the executive coaching session. You're able to take all of that and use it and plug it in as needed. So stress reduction is huge. Positive work environments where you look forward to being with your colleagues. You look forward to interacting with your clients. You're excited to have these communication situations and these speech acts, and to go in and have open dialogue, show empathy, feel empathy from others, have that mutual respect. It's so nice, right? You jive well with people. You're able to get to know them and get along. It's really nice. Really nice feeling. So EI and effective communication. So what does it do? It helps us recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions, which that's the first step, right? What's going on in here and in here? Okay. And then also empathize with others, empathize with their emotions. And then after that, we can validate. But we can't validate if we don't understand what's going on, or we don't care to understand. We've got to first care. I mean, that's like the no-brainer first step, of course, right? If Selena didn't care, well, she wouldn't have interacted as beautifully as she did with Tom. I mean, she nailed that interaction, right? Which is something you all can do. When you leverage EI, you can communicate much more effectively. You can build stronger rapport with people, and you can navigate conflicts when they do arise. But you'll notice that when you have heightened EI, there will be fewer conflicts that you have to deal with, fewer fires that you need to put out, which is an amazing feeling. And it's within your reach. It comes down to effective communication. Okay, so how can you develop EI? So here's some practical steps. First, self-awareness. So take time during the day. I want you to do this at least 3 times today. Or if it's late where you are right now watching this, then tomorrow. Take time, maybe in an app on your phone, like a note-taking app on your device, on your phone, or just write it out longhand. Reflect on your emotions and also identify the triggers that may affect your communication. So for example, oh, I'm upset with Fred because I told him 5 times to make sure the report was on my desk by noon. It is noon and there's still no report on my desk. Okay, so that's the trigger, right? You've said this 5 times to poor Fred, and poor Fred didn't, rise to the occasion. Or maybe you're really mad at Matilda because Matilda just refused to acknowledge that she was supposed to help you with something. So you identify that, maybe you weren't clear enough in your communication, but you identify certain triggers that as they happen. Or it could be something positive, right? Julie did something really great for you. She helped, she took your dog out when you were stuck at work because your dog really needed to go out. Your dog was recently trained. So potty trained. So she goes out, takes the dog, So that's a positive trigger, right? A positive kind of, it wouldn't necessarily be a trigger per se, because that's more of a negative connotation, but it's a positive feeling where, okay, so this is really nice. So identify, in other words, the emotion, and then why do you feel that way? So do that at least 3 times throughout the day. If you can do more, do more. And then active listening. I want you to practice active listening, revisit the challenge that we have in our community on active listening, go through that, use the strategies that we share in the challenge, and give your full undivided attention to the speakers, to the people that you're interacting with. Can you respond empathetically? Can you show validation? Can you show verbally and non-verbally that you are engaged in the conversation? Are you doing a triple nod? Are you leaning in? Are you using discourse markers to show understanding and that you're following? Are you asking follow-up questions, clarification questions? Okay. And then we've also got empathy, right? This is a muscle that's got to be, worked on to build so that it doesn't atrophy. So some people are just, they have this innate quality, this inborn quality that they're just empathetic. They have that high empathy. Other people have to learn this. The good news is you can learn it, but you have to practice it. So if it doesn't come naturally to you, try to put yourself in other people's shoes and try to understand their perspective and their emotions and what they're not saying, right? How can you read between the lines? What are they not saying, but that you understand through not their words, but the other parts of their communication? Emotional regulation, very important, right? Try to start with, you obviously, how do you manage and regulate your own emotions, especially when things are challenging, when somebody pushes your buttons, when you're on your last rope, when you're just really frustrated with a situation and you find that it's challenging to keep cool, stay calm. You've got to do it. You got to do it anyway, right? So again, it's a muscle that you will work on. Some exercises that I would like you to do. So there's 4, try to do 1 every single day this week. So journaling, right? So kind of like a feelings log. Write down your thoughts, write down your feelings, and then possibly even the trigger for that, or the environment in which you found yourself having that sensation or experiencing that emotion or feeling, so that you gain insights into your emotions. Mindfulness meditations. Meditation is really important. It's so wonderful because there are several members in the community that are regular meditators, which I love. And it's, we're all trying to hold each other accountable with these positive habits. And we even have a little group, a mind pod group. So that's one of our social pods in our group where you can, practice meditation every day with each other, sync up with somebody and say, okay, let's meditate together for 10 minutes today. So you can do all of that. So this is something that, I really recommend you do because it does increase self-awareness. You, as a conscious being, start to understand, wow, I'm not in this alone. There's so much more out there. And I'm going to tap into this emotional resonance and reduce reactivity, because when you are somebody who practices meditation, mindfulness frequently, you start, not right away, but you start to tap into your emotions, and then you can override that feeling of, I need to react. I need to blurt something out. I need to react. You override that because you have that regulation, right? That self-regulation is there. We've also got some role playing. So engage in role playing activities and simulations to practice empathy, to practice understanding. We're going to be doing this in our executive coaching session on Wednesday. So we're going to practice scenarios and practice role plays and simulations, get feedback, and try it on, because you've got to try on the strategies. You've got to test them out. Reflective listening. So you can do this from paraphrasing and summarizing to show that you have understood what people are saying. So I want you to do all of these activities this week and next week and keep them top of mind. So like I said, on Wednesday, we're going to be doing our EI. We're going to work on emotional intelligence on Wednesday, February 28th. I would love to see you there. This is a great opportunity to practice these, to ask questions, to get feedback in real time, and to start building friendships with people. Our community is really special. There are so many incredible people that I am just so in awe of, and I'm so proud of them. They work really hard. This is a bunch of go-getters. These are go-getters. There's nothing that is standing in between them and them succeeding and they and their dreams. They are go-getters. They show up. They are consistent, and their hard work really pays off. it's a fun community. You know, we do a lot here, and it's really very special. I'm very happy that we have such an amazing place. So, like I said, we have our active listening challenge. I highly recommend this for anybody who wants to improve this skill. This is, again, half of communication, right, is listening. So if you feel like your communication is not where it needs to be, you're in the right place, because we work on communication skills. Even if you feel like you're really good at communication, trust me, there is always something to learn. So we all, this community is also for you. If you want to interact with people, you want to be with people who are on similar journeys, but also from very different backgrounds and different industries. Maybe they have, you know, a very different life from you. That's also amazing, because you get to learn so much from people. So there's so much that we can, you know, celebrate as our similarities, but there's also so much that we can celebrate as something that is different and that we can learn from each other. So another amazing thing about a community of practice. So we've got members who have completed the challenge. And here we have Mireya, who says the active listening challenge was like a vehicle that brings us closer to make us excel in communication. We learned great strategies to keep engaging with other members in the community while participating in meaningful conversations. So that's wonderful. Simon says, I recommend the active listening challenge to everyone because it enhances empathy and understanding, which is crucial in any relationship. Also, by improving the skill, individuals discover new golden techniques to become a better communicator in their personal and professional lives. Absolutely. So I'm very happy that people like it so much. You know, the ability to communicate effectively and well and like a pro, it's not just an asset. It's not just, you know, this thing that you have and that you should be proud of. It is a necessity. It is crucial. It is so important because it underpins everything we do in our day, in our lives. It will stand between it. Sometimes communication, right, is what stands between you and an even better life, the opportunities you unlock, the people that you get to meet, the situations you find yourself in, the dreams that you never even dreamed of. All comes down to good communication. And the techniques that we talk about this in the coaching sessions, the techniques that I teach you and that we do in role plays and simulations, and we work on, and we have, you know, templates and worksheets and quizzes and assessments and web courses and challenges and daily tasks, daily quests, so many things here, something for everybody here. All of this is also relevant in the other languages you know and speak. I too am a multilingual person. I am multilingual, multicultural, and I apply these to the other languages I speak as well because they are universal. So at Explearning Academy, we understand and we know the pivotal role communication plays in both your personal and professional growth. Our platform is carefully and meticulously designed to enhance your executive communication skills, your interpersonal abilities, your intrapersonal abilities, and your overall fluency in the art of expression, which also relates to social fluency. So whether you're navigating complex situations or discussions at work, or you're fostering deeper connections in your personal life, both are so important. We need both. We at Explearning Academy are here to elevate your communicative competence. So we've got two plans that you might be interested in. We've got the Explearning Academy plan, and you got access to all the amazing things in our community. This is a great situation for you to log in every day, to do something every day to work on your communication skills in English. And also, like I said, this will apply to the other languages you know, to connect with people, to make friends, to network, to build professional prowess and communication and social fluency. So you can do this, you know, at any time of day. You log in, like I said, and self-study, right? You can do this in a self-study. Just follow the weekly calendar, follow the monthly themes, and join us for, webinars and such, and then connect with your social pod members and schedule any types of meetings that are conducive to your own schedule. Whatever time zone you're in, we have people from all over the world here. So you will find somebody or a group of people who are able to log in at the same time, and you can do a video call with them and chat with them and, be in your social pod, in addition to all the activities that we have in our Explearning Academy. And who is the Academy for? Well, if you're keen on improving your social fluency, it's for you. If you want to feel more connected in an increasingly digital and even sometimes isolating world, it's for you. If you want to network, you want to build your professional circles, you want to build your social circles and make friends, it's for you. Do you want to find that professional polish to help you get ahead at work? Or maybe you're running your own business, you're an entrepreneur. We have both here. We have entrepreneurs, we have people running their own businesses, we have people in the corporates, we have C-suite people, CEOs. So we all need the professional polish. This is for you. If you want to dive deeper into mastering communication skills in a place that is encouraging, supportive, engaging, fun, nurturing, it's like a warm hug. It's like a nice warm embrace. It's for you. We've also got, if you want to take your learning a little bit, to the next level, more hands-on in these settings, right? Then you can join our Explearning Academy Executive Communication Lab group coaching plan. You'll get feedback. You'll get to know people a little bit better because we meet every week, and you get to know people better, build friendships and connections with them. And they might even be in your social pod, and you can, have more conversations outside of these calls. So we practice communication strategies. We hone our communication skills for mastery and, get that feedback, the real-time feedback, which is so important. Like I said, we have social pods. So these are your tribes within the tribe of Explearning Academy. So this is how you're going to forge deeper connections with people, have enriching exchanges, practice conversation, practice the techniques that we teach, dive into fun discussions, do like a 10-minute workout with somebody, or do a 5-minute meditation. Just, you can have daily touch points with people, have really fun video call meetups, join the book club, talk about the book that you're reading, and have these people become your close friends, right? It's just a wonderful opportunity to meet people from all over the world, from your industry, from different industries, from everywhere, really. We're really lucky to have so many incredible people. The other thing you can do is you can talk to your HR. If you are at a company right now and you have a professional development stipend, they give you money to essentially go out and find a program that you like and to use that professional development stipend toward enriching your skills. Explearning Academy is that place for you. We are a professional development platform and community, and you can use the resources that I share with you in the community, email templates and decks and all these things, to show to your HR so that you can give them a sense of what we do here and what benefits you have and how having effective communication will benefit your overall productivity and your workplace interactions and everything you do in your job, right? So ask your HR to support your growth, right? Tell them about Explearning Academy and ask them to use, if you can use that professional development stipend towards your Explearning Academy membership. So that would be great. You can approach it like this. Talk about the benefits, right? How improving communication skills will emphasize and enhance team collaboration, leadership abilities, your overall workplace productivity and efficiency. Talk about the ROI, the return on investment, right? Our programs deliver real value, real tangible improvements in communication and social interaction and executive excellence. So they're designed to, help you succeed. Okay. And this can help you also contribute to achieving business objectives. So like I said, talk to your HR, to your employer, and find out if there are any, if there's a policy for professional development, if you have a stipend that you can use so that you can get your membership covered. My friends, investing in your communication skills is investing in your future. So it's something that we definitely want to invest in. So what are some of our members saying? I think it's a great idea for you to see a little bit about what they think. So I joined explearning Academy a few months ago, and I'm absolutely amazed by the progress I've achieved in refining my workplace skills and boosting my confidence in starting conversations within the English-speaking community. Attending every live session and actively practicing real communication skills has not only enhanced my English proficiency, but also have been invaluable for improving my overall communication abilities. And Simon says, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to our teacher, Mary Daphne, for her guidance and support. Having incredibly knowledgeable instructors who encourage you to seize opportunities has been the golden key that explearning Academy has provided me. I wholeheartedly recommend explearning Academy to anyone seeking success in today's fast-paced world. So that's terrific. I think Simon's on maybe month 6 or 7 in the Academy right now. But when she wrote this, it was only 2 months in and she already started feeling this. So it just shows, this is real. Throughout most of my life, I've battled social anxiety. Joining the Explearning Academy has empowered me to overcome my fears and shut down my BS. Each baby step in this supportive environment has been transformative, boosting my confidence in both personal and professional interactions. So that's Sarah sharing her thoughts about this too. Wonderful. Marco says, I enrolled in the executive program. It has been a true treasure to join this program of skills improvement. It's very well made with a lot of features that are useful to train and to empower skills for professionals at the highest level. Thank you very much for all of this. I'm sure it's for sure worth the investment. So thank you very much again for everything. Okay. Saval says, both Mary Daphne and all the members of the community are so sweet and smiling that you never get bored. You don't understand how time flies. With this community, I had the opportunity to improve my communication skills as well as improve my language. I have the opportunity to see and correct my mistakes with frequent community meetings. And then Helder says that he had to give a presentation at work and he used the tips that he used and learned from the community, and everybody loved it. So this is an example of where these are not only strategies and skills that help you with your English, but also with the other languages you know and speak, because communication. So he talks about it focusing on practical communication skills and real life situations. Absolutely. This is relevant to you and to your life, and it's going to improve your life. Raquel says, I don't get to use English in my daily life, so I find it very enriching to have the opportunity to exchange with people from different countries all over the world and to learn about their cultures and customs and opinions on current affairs. Being in small groups allows us to be active in discussions and lose our fear of public speaking. And MD is always there to push us and help us if we hesitate or if we don't know a word or expression. Absolutely. Medea says, best investment, you won't regret it. I'm forever grateful to Mary for creating such a caring human connector platform in which we learn and practice to effectively communicate with others. That's very kind of you to say, Medea. Wonderful. I'm so glad. And Marva says that Explearning Academy is very different from any training I've attended so far. Talking in small groups and everyone in the group participating in the conversations increases my self-confidence in speaking English in different social situations. Terrific. MD encourages everyone to speak in workshops and discussion sessions. She takes care of everyone individually and takes great care to benefit. Takes great care so that everyone benefits. There we go. Thank you, Marva. Okay. Ashika says, My goals are to become more socially savvy and build emotional intelligence with people, which is what we talked about, right? This whole webinar was about emotional intelligence. So there you go. Mary Daphne is an excellent teacher and communicator. Thank you so much. Her skills surely rub off on you as she eases you into better habits and makes everyone feel comfortable as the instructor and facilitator. I'm already experiencing subtle shifts by learning from everyone MD. The community's international diversity is the perfect practice ground to interact in multicultural settings. I feel comfortable to say things without thinking too much as long as I put it across with integrity and grace, something that Explearning Academy integrates in its modules. Terrific. Explearning Academy is the best enrollment I've done in a training program. I'm here to improve my English skills, executive communication, and social skills. I believe this is a great tool and more people should join. Terrific. I really enjoy the workshops Mary Daphne delivers in her paid membership. I encourage people to sign up. I clear my schedule to participate in these workshops. Wonderful. And then we go, Edwin, the style of interaction is cutting edge, incorporating innovative elements. My speaking skills have improved in my daily interactions, and I have surpassed some typical barriers of learning a language. Every day in live discussions, I learn new words, expressions, and discussions, which I use afterwards in real life settings. Amazing. So that is what some of our members had to say. I'm very happy to see all of you here. I see that that's great. We have people who are interested in joining. Come and join us. We have those 2 plans that are ready for you. And I can't wait to announce on Friday in the community. I'll only be announcing that here in Explearning Academy. It will not be on social media. It will not be on YouTube. It will not be anywhere but here. And by here, I'm pointing here is Explearning Academy. So academy.explearning.co. That's where we do it all. If you want to interact with me, if you want to interact with others, come join us here. And yes, I'm so happy to see everybody. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. And I'm really glad that you took some time, over an hour now. We've been on this call for over 1 hour. Definitely watch the replay because there's a lot in here. So I definitely want you to revisit it, watch it again, tell your friends, ask your HR if you can, if they can help, support you on this journey. And let me know if you want any other materials. You can message me in the community, and I will share with you. I'll point you in the direction of the materials that we have that you can show to your HR. So if that's something that is of interest to you, then we would be delighted. So thank you again, and I'll see you on Wednesday. For those of you in the executive coaching plan, we are going to practice these emotional intelligence strategies, both in workplace scenarios and in, real kind of like social, casual scenarios too, because we do both, and both are important. All right. Well, with that, thank you so much, and I will see you very soon. Bye. Happy exploring, everyone.